This is a very different scene compared to when we first got here just after 5 o'clock this morning. At first, most of the people out here were living at McPherson Square, and right now we are seeing a lot of the tents from this morning, at least 24, many of them gone. In fact, most of the people out here now are advocates, some people with the U.S. Park Service, Park Police, you name it, really trying to help with that transition process. And so we have seen a lot of people packing their things up, taking their tents down, moving out of the area. But many I spoke with today say clearing this encampment is not a permanent solution. On a rainy morning just before rush hour, dozens who have called McPherson Square home started packing up.
April will be 3 years.
Except Daniel Kingery.
I will not leave the park under my own free will.
He watched as his neighbors took down their tents and picked up their things.
They complain about the increase in numbers of the population here, but they know that as soon as they close down another encampment, the people will scatter to various other places.
The National Park Service says McPherson Square was closed because of, quote, very serious concerns about growing threats to life, health, and safety. But Kingery says he's tried to report crimes, keep the place clean, picking up trash. They're not getting the help they need.
Park Police and Metropolitan Police have the authority to arrest violent offenders. But more than once, I've been told by the police officers, hey, if we didn't see the crime, there's nothing we can do.
The plan was to clear the park in mid-April, but that timeline got pushed up by 2 months, with National Park Service saying notice to close the park was given months earlier in October. They had to move things up out of concern for health and safety. Plus, the camp was growing. Advocates say they were given only 2 weeks' notice of the date change.
We think that the only time an encampment should be closed is when everybody is connected to the housing and services they need or have a path to that housing and services.
Something made even more difficult with a shortened timeline. Ann Oliva says what's happening today is irresponsible.
Look around. This is not healthy for anybody. We don't want anybody living in this kind of environment. But what we also don't want is folks being forcibly evicted, put in more dangerous situations.
There are people who go on to live wonderful, productive, loving, creative lives if given the chance.
Vikram Surya Chirivolu says he's a licensed counselor who often reaches out to the homeless. He showed up before the sun came up, holding his friend's ashes.
I'm concerned that when people are de-encamped, they are going to potentially, if the cold snap comes through, freeze to death like my friend Miguel Gonzalez did on March 29th last year. I wanted anybody here to understand where this can lead very quickly. He died 8 days after the de-encampment last year.
As advocates made the rounds, checking on tents, trying to connect people with services, Kingley didn't move.
Is to help defend the homeless people's rights.
National Park Service saying that they met with other agencies as well as advocates and other organizations to put together a compassion-focused plan. By the way, we do want to mention that the National Park Service says they have trained crews removing any hazards. In Northwest DC, Joy Wang, 7 News.